So I'm finished up with the event put on by the Washington Backcountry Hunters and Anglers for the shooting competition. And there was a lot of learnings today based off of kind of the scenarios we had. Like I said before, it was 6 different stations. Each station had 2 targets. And then we could engage the targets once or twice and shoot however many rounds we wanted to at them, anywhere from 2 to 4, depending on what we wanted to do. Sometimes up to 6 or 8, just to keep getting hits or kind of play with the wind. The targets were kind of from 100-yard offhand shooting to building positions on the really steep slopes. Some prone stuff, but mostly everything I did today was, if it wasn't kind of the very specific spots where it should have been, prone for like 600 yards, or offhand shooting at 100, 150, just to kind of see how you're able to do in those situations. I did a lot of seated shooting off of a bag or off of a tripod. I tried to learn how to use my tripod kind of as a bipod, just so I don't have to bring one. But for the most part, it was a lot of sitting at angles and then shooting at angles off of a bag or a tripod. I tried out the quick sticks a couple of times as a rear rest or a front rest, and then use the tripod either in the front or rear, and then the bag front or rear. Kind of one of the biggest takeaways is shooting position and setting it up properly, because you can rush to make a position, but then if you're still wobbling on the target, you're not gonna. I didn't do great. And when I would slow down and actually build a position that's totally stable, just every round went exactly where it was supposed to. So spending a couple extra minutes just to make sure your position's good, and not being committed to your first position just because I set up one way and it's like I'm trying to make it work. It's not worth it to keep it like that. Sometimes you just need to adjust so you can get a better position. That was kind of one of the biggest takeaways, is just work on kind of how to build a position, if not quickly, just correctly. The weather and conditions were, it was pretty hard to read the wind a lot, because we were shooting cross canyon for some of this stuff, and like there's no wind or very light felt wind where we were, and at the target we couldn't see anything, and there was nothing but canyon in between us. So like taking shots at 400 yards, even with some wind, I think it's pretty doable with first round impacts. Past 400, if you don't really know what the wind's doing, there was a lot of wind drift. So like everyone in our group was shooting at the 600-yard target, and it's just like, okay, and we're a foot to the right and nobody sees any wind. So with those longer shots, if you don't have any sort of tell on wind, like if it's on flat ground, you can see grass or brushes or anything, brush moving or anything like that, that would be really useful. But when there's nothing, it's really hard to make a good shot at those extended ranges. What I'm thinking about myself and my system, about 400, 450 yards is a good ethical range given most conditions. And then if I'm able to, like, if conditions are good, making a 500 or 600-yard shot, I don't think it's out of the question at all. It's just setting up a good position so you're solid. I also did quite a bit of dry firing on the targets before shooting, just to make sure everything seemed okay. But there still was a difference, setting up a rock solid seated even position versus there's a little bit of wobble here, but I just want to make this position work. So the biggest thing that I learned was you just make sure to set up a good position and follow through with your shot. It was a lot of teachings. Probably shot 50 or 60 rounds in total throughout the day, and then a lot of the rush shots were missed. So The follow-ups were good on those. We had an excellent variation through all the different stages of up and down and 100, 150, 200, 250, like every 50-yard increment basically out from 100 to 600 in different orders and orientations, different slope angles. And there's also some, it was like a certain hillside where you tried to set up on it. Like everybody hated this hillside because you could not get stable. Like you would finally get ready to shoot and then you fall down. Like you just start sliding on the hill. And it's like, okay, I learned if I have that as my only shooting spot, I'm not going to shoot from it because no one was able to hit targets very well from there, if at all. So that was also really good learning about choosing a place to make a position and not just setting up wherever you are, being selective, especially when the ranges are further. Overall, it was a pretty successful competition. I'm glad I did it, and I look forward to continuing on trying to learn some more in the future and doing some more of those.